This episode of Speakers of Eidolon is made possible by our generous patrons, like Chris, Tyronius, Scry de la Rosa, Jamie Assur, Jerry Green, Cecirifula Lirifu, Ariel, Courtney, Daimos, Sprocket, Casey Schaefer, and Omega Cat Comet. Support the show and become a patron today at patreon.com/speakersxiv.
This is Speakers of Eidolon.
Good evening, Aorcians. Welcome to Speakers of Eidolon, episode 98. I'm Legil Bravestone, and I'm joined today by Yaspot, Rollo Des, Mila Vanadar.
Hi.
Hey.
What if I just said?
Still in the corner.
Should have just said another name. Courtney Cox.
I was thinking it definitely needed
Courtney
another
Cox
one.
is here.
Wow.
Finally, our patron has arrived.
Oh, just fucking scares me, please.
Who that? Oh wait.
But then I went into Lukel's bathroom.
Lukel?
Lukel.
Little Lukel.
Little Lukel. So welcome to Speakers of Eidolon episode 98. It is June the 23rd, I hope, 2018. It's again another episode with loads of interviews. Last week we went through some E3 interviews, but there have since been more, so we are going to go through those today. Also some other stuff that has happened, and we will of course discuss that. In the post show, we don't really have anything slated as usual, so it'll be general discussion. Woohoo! That's on the menu today, folks. So please watch. So some channel updates. Roar is coming out next week, and it'll be a different Roar. It's gonna be, it's the swan song of the series, so we'll be looking at the city-states. It'll be a two-parter.
I don't like change.
I know, and I'm waiting for a lot of angry comments, but it's gonna change a bit, and it's gonna be about Ul'dah. I'm starting with Ul'dah. I didn't really want to start with Ul'dah, but then I was like, yeah, I have to start with one city-state anyway. So it'll be Ul'dah, and it'll cover Steps of Nald in the first part, and then Steps of Thal in the second part, which is interesting because Steps of Nald... This is a spoiler. Steps of Nald, Steps of Thal wasn't a thing in 1.0.
Yeah, it was just one area.
Yes, it was instead divided into districts. So that I'll of course talk about that in the episode. So look forward to that next week. I was hoping to get it done today. No chance. So that's that. Other than that, just business as usual. So quick news updates. They released on the dev blog. They released the Tsukiyomi lyrics, the English lyrics. I just burped. Did you hear that? I hope everyone heard that.
Yeah.
Why did you even draw attention to it? It could have just...
Come on. Oh. Was someone subscribing, or was that...
That was me. That was the sound of the burp. So Tsukiyomi, the lyrics were released, and they go as follows. I'll just read them for you.
Mm-hmm.
Flowers waiting to be plucked. Each petal a promise torn. Shorn? That is a word. I just realized how funny that word.
That's shorn.
Shorn. Shorn. One by one, and cast to the winds. I gave unto them my all.
What does shorn mean?
I have no idea. But
shorn.
It sure is
like
a funny
what you do to a
word.
sheep.
It means
Shorn.
shear.
Past tense of shore.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know
it's-
that.
It's the past tense of shearing something.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
That sheep has been shorn.
Mhm.
Which sounds
why-
very stupid.
In fact, that's why Shaun the Sheep is called Shaun the Sheep
Wait,
on Wallace and Gromit.
no way. No
Yeah.
way. No.
Of course it.
No, I refuse. So, no more. And then this one is already in English, I believe. Westward lies bleed toward the east. Wayward daughter step into the night. Restless eyes blind to the beast. Barren waters yield unto the tide. Sanctuary of the moon, tainted by the crimson light, not save the night shall know our sorrow. We give unto it our all, no more.
I don't know about you guys, but like as I've been doing a lot of Tsukiyomi lately, because we're finally my static, we were all clearing God Kafka like 10 minutes every week now, so we're just doing random stuff. And so I've been doing a lot of Tsukiyomi, and like the song is really good, but I never like even hear lyrics in it. Like I know they're not in English, I know they're in Japanese, but I just like I don't ever notice like a chorus in the song or anything like that. You know, like
well, there's I think it's during the third phase, when she's doing the moon stuff. You hear the kind of the men chorus going like in the background, that kind of thing.
I don't know if I gotta pay attention, I guess, again. Or maybe it's because I'm always doing the fight, so I never notice. But
it's kind of hard to hear them over the fight sometimes. I feel like, but there are like English and Japanese lyrics in the song.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, there is like there's some meaning behind all of this. I don't know if there's any point of us going into this. It's a song and it's got lyrics.
Basically, the whole thing is Tsukiyomi's perspective, except for the westward lies bleed toward the east, which is everybody oppressing her, apparently.
Yeah, the male choir.
Of course, it's the male oppression.
Of course.
Hey, listen, Gusetsu coming into that part of the song is still fucking cool, okay?
That actually, is that when he comes in?
Yeah.
Is that when he comes in?
He comes in during, I think, like the crescendo, the fucking violin part or something. Okay. That might be what it's called. I don't know.
Okay. But anyways, that's the song. The 4.3 website has been updated. And it now has Heaven on High and Hildy on there. Also, we know the patch date now. That's on July the 3rd. So, hey, it's early. It's actually early. It's the earliest they could get it for July. So
hey, I was pretty close. I think I said the 6th or something. And you guys were like, no, that's too early. It won't happen. Well,
I also said that it had to be early, but people tend to push it towards, because previously they've always pushed it late.
I think they were always fine until that one time they said like December or something, and then it was they said mid-December and it was December 30th. Yeah. So it was one day before the end of last day of December. So it's like technically it was the middle. Yeah. And ever since then, people are like, nah. Yeah,
Rollo. Also, why would you say the 6th?
I don't know why I said the 6th, by the way. You guys told me it's probably on a Tuesday, so like,
it's probably. You should know this, Rollo. It's always on a Tuesday.
Sorry. Stop bullying me.
Probably.
But also it's absurd because Maella said it too. It's like, what if they drop it on the Thursday? And I'm like, the fuck are you on about? This game is released on the patches have always been on a Tuesday for like 10 years. 10 years. How old is this game? So
it was a mistake. I'm sorry, but I was closer than everyone else. So,
okay. So that's hype. Patch hype. Heaven on High, Hildy, which I still haven't done.
None of us do Hildebrand, which we should.
I did all of it. I've done all of it up until the last whatever ones, which I skipped because they sucked.
Oh, well, okay.
Well, that's why I haven't done them, because the Heavensward one was such a letdown, like compared to the Realm Reborn one. So I was like,
the Heavensward one is way better.
Than the initial quest for Heavensward, though.
The initial one is bad. The ones after are hilarious.
Yeah,
I think they're way better than the ones of Stormblood. I was like, this is.
I have absolutely no idea what happens in this Stormblood one. Heaven on High, it's about time we get that, so I can finally finish leveling. And that's that. So that's July 3rd. Look forward to that. And then the other day, Chaos went down, and it was weird. It sounded like it was pretty dramatic during the hours that it happened, because first of all, it didn't like. So I'm gonna this is witness testimony. I tried to log in, and I would like just click start, and it would just load forever. And I'm like, there's some traffic today. I'm like, I'll just wait. Just waited for like a minute. I'm like, oh, this is slower than usual, and then disconnect. And I check the server status. Everything's green. I'm like, what? Oh, okay, I'll try again. And it just kept happening. And then there's like this weird update that comes from Square Enix. Like the Chaos Data Center, there's like been some damage. I'm like, some damage? There's been a power outage, and there's like damage.
Sorry, all of your characters are gone.
Yeah, and I'm like, and then yeah, it turns out there had been a pretty dramatic power outage in the data center, and they had like equipment had been damaged, and it took several hours to like took almost a whole day to fix it. It felt like, so they probably had to get some new equipment in to fix that. I don't know what happened. Some people speculated that it was like a thunderstorm or something over where that data center
is. In Germany, right?
Yes. In Frankfurt, I think. So, yeah, that was scary. I, of course, immediately started like panicking. I'm like, my character's gone. Everything's gone. Maybe they'll compensate. Maybe they'll give me like a character with everything. But it won't be. It'll be like the Rollo theory. Like they've killed the original one and gave me a clone. It's not the same.
It's the Rollo theory now, guys.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was dramatic. Everything's fine. There was not even a single, as far as I know, there was no, because people talked about like best case scenario, maybe there's a rollback, because we don't know like when they back up the servers. I don't think anything was rolled back, so I think it's all good, but scary.
Has there ever been a rollback in 14?
Yes, but only in earlier Realm Reborn when they were struggling with server issues. I remember there was a rollback, but it was only like a couple of hours back, but still annoying for those that was involved in that. But yeah, not in recent times.
Okay.
Right. There's also we're not even going to go into this because we've talked about it like a million bajillion times, but there's a recent interview where Yoshi-P still talks about the Switch. So
hey, listen, that's not going to be as bad as you guys think, by the way, if there's a Switch port. Because Capcom recently did, I don't know if it's out yet, but they're doing Resident Evil 7 for the Switch.
What? Here's the thing. It's not the fact that it's on a console or anything like that. It's the fact that it being on that console means that that's one more thing that prevents them from making it look better and better and better.
You didn't let me finish. Hey.
So
RE7 on I don't think it's out yet, but it's for Japan exclusive, by the way. Where they will is it not RE7? It's some game from Capcom, and what they do is they stream the game to your Switch because they know it's like.
Well, they can't do that with 14.
They could totally do that with 14.
No, because then they would have to
loads of latency.
What? That's so much. Absolutely not, dude.
They could totally do it. I think that, okay, well, first off, we got to say the internet in Western countries is not as good as Japan, so that's why it's acceptable. And I would like to think something like RE7 takes some kind of like actual, you can't have that much latency on reactions. So if that's being a thing, I could see it. I don't think it will be like an action. It's not going to run on Switch hardware. No, I don't think if that ever happens.
I'm talking about 14.
You are now talking about. I don't.
That makes no sense.
Okay.
I'm just.
I think
just saying,
if they made it for the Switch, it would be a port. It would be just like they did with the PS3 and the PS4. It will have its own client and all that. And that's the problem, because now they would have to accommodate the Switch every time they make an update to the actual game. More money getting poured into the ports. The more consoles you have to, or more platforms you have to like maintain, the more money you have to spend on it, and less money goes into development. That's why people don't want their MMOs on multiple consoles.
Also, I'll put it this way: how are you? Like, sometimes it's shitty just having your connection go from the data center to you. Now imagine if you had your game coming from a different data center, then going to you, then waiting for your button input, then going to the servers. Hell no, dude.
Okay, well,
Hell no.
No.
Listen, they
It would
recommend
be
under
Titan
200
all over
ms.
again.
Yeah, good luck being
Right?
Titan. Yeah.
Well, they recommend under 200 ms is what Yoshi-P said, right? That's totally doable.
That's
I
what they
think.
used to say. There's no playing at 200 ms anymore.
No.
Fuck
I mean,
that. There's
under
not
200
happening.
ms. I think it's
If-
possible under 200 ms.
Possible, yes.
We can't
Fun, no.
Okay, but what about X-Bound port? What do you guys think of that?
Also, there's another issue with like the Switch space like requirement. Like, how are you gonna fit? You need like micro
Right.
SD
Well,
cards
that's what I'm
with
saying.
massive sizes. And
That's why it
I'm
would be
saying the
streaming.
streaming thing. It's very unlikely. How the
Very
fuck would that
unlikely.
work? I have no idea how would they. I don't even know how that.
It's a thing. It's a thing that people.
Yeah, but I know
it's
that
already being
streaming works.
done.
I know that streaming works. I'm thinking about how it would work with an MMO like 14.
Mhm.
It doesn't
It-
work.
I think it'd be doable.
It'll be latency on top of latency. Why?
It is,
okay.
but
Even if it would work, I don't think that 14 is the people to go blazing the trail of new
No, definitely not.
of doing that. I really don't believe that.
14 has possibly the worst netcode in the game I've ever
Yeah.
experienced.
Mhm.
And
I don't think they're the
on top
trailblazers.
of a streaming service would be horrible.
Yeah.
It would be really horrible.
I'm not saying it's impossible. Is all I'm saying.
It's not impossible,
It's
but
not
it-
impossible.
No.
I
it's
think
not a
if-
good thing.
If it was done properly, I don't think it would really hinder
But I don't-
role players at all
I
either.
don't think there's any way they could do that like
Mhm.
without it getting fucked up. I don't think there's any good way of doing it. So they would have to do it as a port, as an actual port,
It would
and
be
that
poor.
spells danger. So let's not do that. We'll all be talking about the Switch restrictions.
Also, it wouldn't happen because Sony's really fucking pissy about multi-platform stuff recently.
Yeah, that
Microsoft's
too.
even
Yeah, look how
worse,
it's
so-
switched.
Right now,
no,
yeah,
it's switched.
It's switched.
It's switched.
Remember,
Microsoft's okay with it
remember
now.
when we talked about this like way back? We talked
Yeah.
about this and we were like, no, because Microsoft are stuffed up cunts. They don't want to play with other players. And now it's just completely opposite. And now,
Yeah.
actually, Sony is saving us from a Switch port. So,
Thanks, Sony.
I think that's not a good thing. Also, know what? Someone's right too. PSO2 does do it, and that requires more of a better connection.
And who's playing PSO in the West? Sorry.
Well, that's different, okay?
No, you just said it wasn't different because you just said that
drink that
Japan has way
Pepsi,
better
Rollo.
internet.
Drink that
I'm
Pepsi.
drinking
just
that
finished
fucking
saying that
Pepsi.
Japan has internet that makes that work.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, but I think there are areas
Guess
in the
what?
States.
Guess how big of a country Japan is? It's like this big, dude.
Yeah,
You on
yeah.
one end to the other, you get like 20 latency. If
I don't know.
Listen, it's possible, okay? I'm just saying, and I don't think it'd be that bad. I think it'd actually be a good thing to have more options that, especially if it's just streaming, because that's not like, if it's just streaming, that's not, you don't have to tune it for the hardware that much aside from the video output. And maybe the icons, I guess.
Just get a Vita. Get a Vita and play.
I have a Vita! It's right there!
said no one ever, even though I have one.
Yeah.
Hey guys, buy a Vita and play more Monster Rebirth. It's
There-
good.
Hey. Can you even buy a Vita anymore?
Yeah, you can. They stopped
They
making
actually,
them, but you
they did stop. They did discontinue them, but you
yeah.
can still buy them.
it's a good console. Just learn Japanese and you can play all the good games.
There you go. Just learn. Just learn Japanese.
Just do it.
And
Yeah, it's simple.
simple. Okay, so also on the dev blog, they posted the new item search function, which is basically an overhaul of the search system or item search system. So if you didn't know, you used to use /iSearch, and usually you just get the hits in your chat box.
I don't never like that system because it needs like an autocomplete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like because sometimes I'm like searching for something and I'm like, oh wait, does that have a dash in it?
Yeah.
Or like you have to spell it, so you have to capitalize it and everything, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's unless you exactly know what you're looking for, then it's kind of useless.
Yeah.
Sort of.
All the searches in 14, it's so based, like even on the market board. Like you I know they implemented the partial thing, but for some reason they added this weird restriction where like when you do that you can't see how many are for sale. Like what is the logic? I don't know why that's like a thing. It's just like one of those weird Square Enix solutions. Like, oh, okay, well,
don't forget they're also like it could break the servers.
yeah.
Like,
You'll get
there's something
this,
weird about it.
but we'll remove this because we're afraid. So, anyways, so this I should have shown an actual picture, but I'll show this
Oh my
tiny
God, it's
picture.
like-
Why does this dude have 1,692 tofu pancakes?
It's just got a lot of tofu pancakes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pancakes.
Is it like a thing? Do you use piety for Black Mage now or something? Like, I don't.
You know what makes me even more upset about it? Not only does he have so many, but on his inventory he has them in 2 separate tabs.
Oh yeah, he does.
Why is he doing
Oh my
that?
God, he does.
Wow.
And none of them are high quality as well.
No.
So it's not even.
Ugh.
I love this
You
Yoshi-P
bastard.
quality screenshot, by the way, that we're like just putting up to the camera.
Bullhead.
Yes,
That's
this is very Matsuno for sure.
This is.
I
We're
mean,
doing good.
it's my hero. So, so this window will now pop up whenever you do iSearch, or if you use the sub, that you can use it. Can you even do that? It says search for item submenu. I guess that's. Oh wait, search for item. Is that the right click search for item? Will this still? Oh, is this going to pop up instead as well then? Okay.
Yes, that's gonna pop up as your results screen instead of the thing in the chat. I would assume.
Okay.
Are you guys going to use it? I'll be honest. Like,
I mean, have to.
I have to.
no,
now.
I mean,
choice.
Sounds like you have to use it.
Yeah.
I mean, as in, like, do you use the search item feature?
I do.
Even now, really?
I do,
Yeah, I
yeah.
use it quite a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I use it for crafting a lot. So
Mhm.
if I have nothing in my inventory, I'll just right click all the crafting mats
Yeah.
before I go buy anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's mainly what I use it for.
Yeah. So that's cool. It will. Okay, so it says FFXIV stores all sort of important information, such as character levels and inventory on the server, but detailed information, such as where the item is stored and how many you have, gets stored in the client cache. For that reason, the item search function isn't communicating with the server for your item data, but rather checking through your cached data on the PC or PS4. As a result, if you play on multiple platforms or access your account from another machine, your stored cache data could provide an outdated result. Talking about poor and bad netcode.
This game's just.
I mean, that makes sense. Your stuff is stored.
When will they just improve it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Just sort it out.
Like there should be like a sync, like, but then it would have to be stored on the server. Wait, yeah. See, I can kind of see the issue here.
I mean, listen, is it really going to be that much of a problem? Like, do you guys switch between PS4 and
I don't
No.
know at all.
No.
PC often?
No, no, that's right.
Because
They
that's
just-
the only way it's going to affect you, really.
Yeah,
The more they do these sort of solutions, you just start losing your mind.
It's like that
exactly.
with it's like that with the Crossroad Blacklist as well. I think.
Oh, is that client side?
God.
Yeah, if you switch things, it's gone. You can still.
What,
talk
so
to people
suddenly
that
they
have
can talk
blacklisted.
to you again?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
That
God.
fucking sucks. Wow.
That's embarrassing.
no way. Wow.
You
Well,
say to people, "Oh wow, come check out Final Fantasy 14. It's great. It's a really great MMO." And then this happens.
anyway, let's see. In patch 4.35, we're adding information to display if your cache data for the item search is new or not.
Oh,
This
my
is what I talked about, Square Enix solution. Like, we're giving you partial match stuff, but now you can't see how many are for sale. It's the same thing here. Well, your cache might be outdated, but at least we added an icon for it. It's just this red question mark. It's like, I love how it's like, it might be outdated. That's why it's a question mark. Is this outdated? Maybe. I like
Maybe
that.
you've got a tofu pancake. Maybe you have.
I mean, he said you're probably never going to see it, by the way. So,
Ah,
Storage
amazing solution.
storage locations marked with a red question mark have not been updated since your last login. In order to retrieve the information, you'll need to access the storage. For example, calling forth your retainer or opening up your Chocobo saddlebag. Storage that is up to date and ready to be searched will be displayed with a green check mark.
Last login.
I got this
Let's
picture.
just-
every single
there's a picture. There's a picture right there. As you can see, it's a retainer.
Oh yeah.
I also just want to call back to this picture again. Just look at how many question mark he's got. So he's gonna
Well,
have
yeah.
to. He's gonna have to like go call these retainers up.
Yeah, but
Open-
he has to do that every time he logs in.
No.
No.
Yeah, because it says it's not been updated since your last login.
Yeah,
If
that's
you
if you
switch.
switch to a different
Mhm.
client. This is not going to happen every time. This is when you switch because it's stored in your cache. So
yeah.
if you log on to another computer, that's when that's going to happen.
Correct.
And it'll be like, oh,
Yeah.
this cache.
So
Yeah.
basically, if you play on PC, the only time you're going to see it is when you like reformat your computer or like have to re-download the client for any reason.
As it says right here, for those of you who only play 14 on a single platform, you don't need to worry about question marks or check marks. So just use the feature as usual. Oh, I love the next line. Please note that the mobile Final Fantasy XIV companion app, scheduled for release in late July, will come equipped with features to sort your inventory and access the market board. So using these app features would also be considered as logging in from another machine.
Oh, are you serious? So they just undid everything they said? They literally just oh my god.
Yeah, so just if you don't want to have the red question mark, don't hit the app.
Just don't use the mobile app.
Wait, what the fuck? No, wait, hold on. Wait, let's read this again.
Right? Please, that can't be right.
Please note that the mobile Final Fantasy XIV companion app, scheduled for release in late July, will come equipped with features to sort your inventory and access the market board. So using these app features would also be considered as logging in from another machine. You may have
to use this. So he literally says you'll never use this if you play on one platform, and then immediately says you absolutely will need this 100%.
Wow.
What I like most about it is the way he words it, though. You may have use for the new system after all. The new system. Like it's a feature, like, oh, well, we don't know where your items are.
We can't find them, but it's a feature.
What the fuck? Okay, well.
Wow.
It's
that is the strangest. I just can't believe he's like, it's fine, you'll never see it. And then
but you will.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Are we misinterpreting this, or is this?
By the way, the next line is calling it a quality of life update.
Yeah. We hope that this quality of life update will help you.
Significantly increased in quality. Thank you, Yoshi-P. Jeez.
Well, we'll talk about it when it comes out, and we'll see for sure.
Yeah,
I love this game.
Yeah,
maybe that's not.
It's a little strange. I mean, the quality of life feature is nice, though. The actual search window is nice.
Is nice, yeah.
Just don't use.
It's like somebody in chat said. It's like Flash in chat said. It's like he typed the whole thing up, and then somebody's like, "Dude, the app totally fucks it up." He's like, "Right, okay, never mind, totally fucked up."
Just don't sort your inventory with the app. Well, don't sort your inventory and don't sell stuff because that will interact with your inventory, right? So don't use the app. Wow, cool, very cool.
Sweet.
I don't even know. Whatever. I barely use iSearch anyway.
I use it a lot.
I use it a lot. Yeah.
This window's pretty big.
That's pretty annoying me too.
Pretty obtrusive.
It is a little bit, but I kind of like it.
I wonder if it's still going to show up in the chat box.
Oh,
it will. They showed the chat box.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just okay, good. Because I used to just like go through all the materials in one craft and just like quickly search for all items and then scroll up through my chat.
But also, it's going to spam your chat box a lot more. It's checking every single inventory you have and saying if it's in there or not, instead of just saying.
It already does that, doesn't it?
It just says by retainer and stuff. Yeah, it does.
It says by retainers and everything.
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to pop up with a new window every time you do it, or replace the window?
Oh, it'll pop up. It'll close the old one.
If it pops up a new window. Oh, you think it'll close the old one though? If it opened them all, that'd be great.
I don't know. We'll see.
I want like 50 boxes.
This app sucks, dude.
This app is just trouble. Okay, so I didn't know we were going to talk about the app, but we did. So
it snuck its way in there, just like it did in the live letter.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into the interviews. So this is by Twinfinite, but apparently the questions are from Reddit. Am I correct in my assumption, Mr. Des?
Yes, they were gathered on the Reddit, but they're published. They do that often, don't they? They go to the Reddit.
And that's an easy way to do it. That's an easy way to get questions. Okay, so Twinfinite, or I guess Reddit, asked, achievement hunters have noted the extreme amount of time needed to complete all the Leve achievements. Would a solution such as allowing people to maybe buy Leve Allowances with Gil or some kind of... Is this 1.0? Is it 2010?
This is a weird one.
This is a weird one.
I'm always running out of leaves.
Would a solution such as allowing people to maybe buy Leve Allowances with Gil or some kind of other currency be possible?
I just want to say that people complain about Ultimate for being like 1% of 1%. I think this might be less people than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The people who are worried about leaves and specifically trying to get the honest Gillionaire achievement,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's what they're referring to,
Probably,
right?
yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or I feel like achievements in 14 don't really feel that rewarding? I don't feel good about getting
Well,
them.
they're starting to
Yeah.
because of
Some of them
the
are,
trading
yeah.
system. Well,
Yeah.
the trading
Yeah.
system, like makes
As
it.
long as they keep adding to that, I suppose.
But that's just for doing achievements in general, not doing things specific.
I mean,
But
some of them have good
it's-
rewards. Like the titles are cool,
Yeah.
and the mounts
Yeah, some
and
of them.
stuff.
Some of them are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, some of the basic ones are like, okay, I did that, I guess.
But then some of them are like really poorly, like the dungeons or something or killing monsters, for example. You get to like 500 and you get like a title and a new crown.
Yeah.
And then there's like 50 million monsters and you get nothing. for
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that
then
is
they
a bit
stop
strange.
doing them and stuff. It's
Yeah.
like
I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah. I mean,
I-
they're clearly working on the achievement system. Seeing as
Yeah.
we now got the very annoying, may I add?
Oh god, I wish it would stop popping
Yes.
up all the time.
Have we talked about this? We should talk about this.
I think we did.
We have, but god,
Have
it's so
we?
annoying.
Have we talked about how fucking annoying it is and the fact that you can't turn it off?
do you want to know what's even better?
What?
When you're raiding, and every single time you go into a fight, it's like, hey, bitch, you haven't beaten this
Oh,
fight
yeah.
yet. Look at the corner. Hey, look, you haven't beaten this fight yet. Have you cleared yet? I don't think
one
so.
possible achievement in this area. Just
Yeah.
It's every time, dude.
But
It's like, what?
I'll give it one. I'll say this. It makes me want to do some of the achievements more because I'm
Just
like,
to get rid of the
I want
pop-up.
this gone. But
You know what?
It's
But when-
the opposite to me.
It makes me want to not do them out of spite.
I agree.
Yeah.
Same.
the
Like,
thing,
fuck, I mashed that X button. I don't fucking care. Go.
the thing that gets me is the one that like I kind of like that one though. The one that tells you the ones that are nearing completion because
I hate that, dude.
they are often very close to nearing
Do you want
completion.
to know what it is for me every time, though? It's like, hey, you're 9 out of 10 on fucking Midas Savage clears. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, that's like one of
I don't care.
I have,
dude.
like,
It's
one
my
for-
whole list is filled with that.
I have one for normal Midas. Like, you have to do it one more time, please.
Yeah.
So you've done it like 10 times or whatever. I'm like, no, I don't want to.
10 times? Okay.
My whole
Yeah.
thing is filled with like Midas, Deltascape one more time.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. There are lots of fates achievement. I'm not really big into fates.
I actually do all
So
of
every
those.
time I get into like a zone, there's like a fate I haven't done. I'm like, don't remind me, please.
I think that's like the most useful part for it, though. Actually, is like because a lot of times it shows you something that is not related to anything you're doing right now.
Yeah,
But if you
Yeah.
like zone into like Alligiri and it's like, hey, there's a fate you can get a chocobo barding from. That
Mm.
seems more useful to me than
yeah,
like, hey, by the way, you didn't beat a raid
Yeah.
3 years ago. Like, that seems really stupid to me.
yeah. I have one for coil, like in like nearing
Right.
completion. I'm like, right, I'm gonna go down there and do that.
You
now.
gonna be back to that
For
coil
sure.
prog anytime
Yeah.
soon?
You know it.
Yeah. So basically, what he's saying in this one, I don't want to read like all of this because it's we're talking about leaves here. But
And
basically,
Ubisoft?
yeah, Ubisoft. Oh yeah, Ubisoft is in here. What? It's a weird. Why is he bringing this up? It's a friend that
Because
works at Ubisoft, and they actually enjoy the grind.
Yeah, so if the guy at Ubisoft likes it, then everyone has to like it.
Of
Yeah, because
course the guy
Ubisoft is
from
the
Ubisoft.
pinnacle. Ubisoft is the pinnacle of game design.
Mhm.
Of course, it's understood that some people might feel that it's too much of a grind, or they might not enjoy the process. It's nice. I think it's nice to have that kind of content for those people who enjoy doing the grind. If we were to make it purchasable, people might complain. Oh, well, that's pay to win. Well, because it is. So no plans for making any sort of changes. But why would you fucking buy leave allowances? Like how?
But it's
But
in-game money.
I also want to point out that they said the question said gil or other currency. And
Yeah.
they immediately thought real money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They didn't even talk about gil in
Yeah.
this post.
Couponut.
They
He's just
didn't
like-
think
he's
like,
like,
yeah.
oh,
Couponuts, baby.
Tell people, yeah.
Couponuts.
You can get
If you
other
get the
currency,
app, you can buy some
dollars?
Moogle coins and you can buy some leaves.
Yeah, but then you'll be using another app, so you'll have to reload all your retainers.
Yeah. Also, I think the leave
Sucks.
achievement is from 1.0. I think that's just the leftover from.
Eh,
Well, I think they made them all legacy, but I'm pretty sure that it's just the same thing they brought back with the same numbers. I might be wrong. Might be wrong. Is that the? I think the achievement is called "Who Wants to Be a Gillionaire" too. The achievement,
Right.
not the
Wow.
title. Not the title.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it?
Because that's where I got. I'm pretty sure that's Yeah, that's where I got the name for Who Wants to Be a Gillionaire from that achievement. So that's
I
that.
wonder if the friend at Ubisoft felt accomplished afterwards.
Yeah, like yeah, I got it, and then just slowly starting
10
to
achievement
realize.
points.
Just
You
the
worked
sadness just comes in. They're like, I did it.
Congrats. 10 whole achievement
Congratulations! I just did like 4 million leaves.
Yeah, you need 10 million gil.
Yeah.
I
Good.
feel bad for achievement hunters in 14.
It's kind of
I am one.
yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry for you, dude. That sucks.
Yeah. Don't do achievements. Fuck them. It's
My points.
such a weird time like we got like last week they asked Yoshi-P, or in like was it last week they asked Yoshi, when was E3?
That was last week. That we
Yeah.
did
A couple
interviews
weeks
for that.
Yeah, when people asked for 1.0 legacy servers, now we're talking about Leve quests.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Yeah, it's weird. People are bringing about legacy shit.
It's because the game right now is kind of boring. We need shit.
We
instead.
need
I mean, it is
bring
stuff.
back 1.0.
It is boring, but there was less to do in 1.0.
Yeah,
I know, but that's just people are like their minds are going wild.
that's what
because it's like,
happens. Yeah,
I don't know what I'm doing. Like,
You know whose fault it is, too? It's
What?
Lukeel's fault.
Yeah. You're the
It-
one who's
it-
making people
I-
pine for it.
It probably actually is your fault.
He actually
I know.
is wrong. It is
do
probably
you know
your
how
fault.
often I think about that? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You make it look so good, Lukeel.
The thing is,
I really
I
want to
don't.
play it.
I don't even try to
I
make
really
it
wanna
look
play it.
good. I'm trying to be as neutral as possible. I'm like, this is what we had. Literally all we had. Like,
It's like this perfectly empty landscape, and yet people are like, wow, this is
that's so
good.
beautiful. It's big and
That's
open.
fantastic.
Like,
I really want to play that game.
Wow.
It's so good.
You make it look so enticing, Lukeel. All the mysteries and like crazy stuff.
I use a dev console
right.
to teleport into the
and then I think just if to those that have this impression, I just want you to just imagine, come with me on a journey. So now
Okay.
we're in Lenosha. We're on the windy meadows.
Very misty here. Oh my god! Whoa, is that a fucking gobble?
Is that a player? No, it's just a
It's
tree.
not. It's definitely not a player.
Okay, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna go to the nearest camp. I could just teleport because I'm going from Camp Bearded Rock to Bloodshore. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna teleport.
Hey, Lukeel, have you seen any enemies?
I think I saw a marmot 10 miles behind me.
Yeah, I don't think you did.
Okay,
I don't think.
might have just been a tree. I'm gonna teleport to Camp Bloodshore now. I don't know why I'm swimming. Apparently,
That's literally it, though. That's the thing.
You're
Like,
just like waiting in
that's
the air.
1.0.
I'm gonna teleport to Bloodshore. I'm gonna start. Oh, I have no anima.
Oh,
I have to go. I have to walk.
Let's just
Oh.
log off for half an hour.
Yeah, I better
Oh, no,
log
wait,
off.
doesn't-
Oh, look, a marmot. I can kill it. Oh no, I've reached my EXP limit for the day. Better save it for tomorrow. Let's hope no one kills it.
log off next to the marmot, so it's right and ready when I get on tomorrow.
I love 1.0, guys.
That's 1.0, everyone.
Great game.
That's
Great
the
game,
that's
great
the game that you're glorifying.
Great game.
So, I was 1.0.
No, everyone got lost.
Yeah.
By the way, with
It was
that.
1.0. Didn't you join me on the journey? I told you, join me on the journey. We're going to 1.0 Lenosha.
You didn't get on the magic carpet.
Yeah, I did. The 1.0 walk, everyone.
What? Okay, it's like how gobble arms flail.
Gobus didn't come until what, 1.21.
They were in the base game.
No.
The mob, a gabu.
Oh, the mob was there. Oh, I thought you meant like the
Okay.
mount.
I was
Okay.
talking about
Let's get back to the interview.
Where were we again?
we just finished this
we've gone on a really
very
long journey.
interesting question about leave allowances because it's 2010, everyone. So back to the other question. Now that Bard can play music, other jobs are wondering if one day they will get their own out of combat job actions. Do you think this is possible, and do you have any ideas that you'd like to try out one day if you have time?
Give Dark Knight's drums. I want to be a Dark Knight and play the drums.
That doesn't.
What?
Why not just roll Bard?
Just roll
The Dark
bard.
Knight should play drums, dude. Come on.
Why does every class have to play music? I think it's just
It's
anything.
funny.
Yeah, what's up with that? Yeah, why did we don't need
Wouldn't that be kind of cool? Like,
Let
oh
the
yeah,
bards play
Alan-
drums.
Yeah, let the
Well,
bard.
no.
They're
Wouldn't it be
bards.
kind of...
Why they play music? That's their thing.
Yeah, that's
A
the
Dark
point.
Knight
It's the
doesn't-
name.
Wouldn't it be kind of funny to be like, hey, I'm a paladin. Your assigned instrument is the fucking hurdy-gurdy. Yeah, get on that shit, dude.
Oh,
No, actually, that'd be for warrior because they have the pirate stuff.
I think
They have
I
another-
don't
That
think
would
they
be
were
good.
necessarily
Why have you
referring to.
thought so much about
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
Come on,
doesn't
Dark Knight
necessarily
would
have
play
to
How
be
about-
music. Okay,
How
let's.
about we get them? Yeah, if that's what I was first, I'm like, well, what do they mean? I don't think they meant music. I think they mean like just things that thematically fit the job. You know?
Yeah.
Not everyone has to have a special RP thing.
No.
I don't think
want-
everyone can. It doesn't make any sense
No.
for like
That's
what's
what I
a
want.
Warriors RP gonna be? Screaming at people?
Yeah.
Although,
Like freaking
one,
the fuck out is gonna be their RP? Like
Yeah.
They get throat singing, dude.
I mean,
That's
one
gonna be
thing I would like is like the class quests give you a unique job emote or something.
hey guys, I got a
Well,
better
you already
concept.
sort of get that.
You get that with the
Pose.
victory emote and the battle.
If we're gonna
pose.
go down this
I
road,
won't call that.
they're missing the most obvious thing ever, which would be race specific things.
Uh-huh.
Considering we still don't have our own languages or anything like that, you know.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, yeah.
What, do you want to be like WoW, or when you type?
Yeah,
lol
It's pretty
or something?
cool.
But everyone
pretty
speaks
great.
well, except for I think
You
all
can speak
Eor-
both. That's the point.
we speak Eorzean, don't we?
Yeah, well, we'll speak
Well, yeah,
Aussie,
but
but
clearly
then
there's other languages.
Like Hingan, yeah, but none of the races.
well, and the fact that elves are all named in very French. Like
So
I
they
think
would
there's
speak
more-
French.
they would speak
Probably,
French.
yeah, probably. Well, it'd be Elvish. you know,
No,
it'd be
because they
whatever.
speak. We know that the
Okay, and is it called
standardized
English?
language.
Do they say hello? I'm from Eorzea. I speak English. They don't
No,
say
they
that.
speak Eorzean.
Yeah.
right,
Right.
which is English.
They don't speak.
For us,
I speak
for us.
Elizonish. I speak Elizon.
Well,
No, they don't. So there's
It'd be
no
French.
lore reason
It'd be
for it
French.
because language is standardized in Eorzea.
Yeah, that was
It's
standardized,
not.
like,
We have the
a long time
echo.
ago. What does that mean?
It's like the TARDIS. It just
we can
translates it for you.
translate. Yes,
Yeah.
it does. It literally
Oh.
does.
No, but it
Okay.
is referred to as Eorzean, so it makes no. We never hear of an Elizon language. Oh, they speak of
bet
the
it exists,
Elizon.
though.
They
I
speak.
bet it exists.
No.
So it wouldn't work yet because we all have the echo. We just be understanding each other. just
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
That's
so
okay. You just broke my.
it's-
Okay, now you broke
yeah.
it. That's you're right there. Okay,
The only
you're right
languages we know exist is Eorzean and Hingan and the Evilesian
there. Yeah, dragon.
and
Yeah,
Dragon.
dragon.
Oh.
Although
And
when they
Death tribes
speak
have
that,
languages. They go. Ah!
Okay,
You know
moving
what
on. I
time?
think. See. Oh, he said more actually. No, actually, I didn't get to his answer at all.
Yeah, we didn't finish it.
Um,
Talk about
so-
drums, I'm sorry.
Because the performance action is something that a bard can do and was implemented as sort of a bard's job action, people might have gotten the impression that this was assigned to a particular job, but the thinking behind it was actually quite different. The opposite, actually. We wanted people to be able to play music in the world of Eorzea, and from that idea came, how do we make that happen? Oh, we happen to have a job called Bard. What a perfect way to implement that idea. And it sort of matches that roleplay aspect of Bard being able to perform. And so that's how it came about. That makes sense. If we were to think about other actions that we could do in the realm of Eorzea, so for example, we wanted to be able to allow our players to pantomime, then from there, they
Isn't
would
that emotes?
take that idea and think just like the box.
That's all they wanted to add. Just that.
yeah,
Okay, so how do we want to get this to happen? Which job would be the most appropriate for this action? Or do we want to have everybody be able to use this? Will we have to create a new job just so we could be able to accommodate this, etc.? Yes, I want a pantomime
you
class.
guys would
I
maybe
mean, mine.
class.
Mine, a blue
Mime is the
mage.
final.
Hey,
Well,
if they ever add blue mage, they could do that. Kind of makes sense.
well, mimes are Final Fantasy
Yes,
jobs
but
in many
no one's
games.
ever talked about a mime in 14. Like, oh, I can't
Could
wait when we get
be.
finally mime.
Listen. We talk about a person dancing for combat. Why not a guy going boom and making barriers and shit?
Hey, you know
What's
what?
the difference?
That'd be
What's the
pretty cool.
difference?
Right?
It's a tank
yeah.
with mimes a shield in front of him. So
Yes,
he's like,
that
yeah.
sounds awesome. That sounds fantastic.
Uh-huh. Sounds fantastic.
He'll have like
A
he'll have,
no
like,
weapon. It's a bare-fisted tank.
He'll have like a dragon where he like
His artifact armor is like a turtleneck. He's like,
and all of his weapons are invisible. He just mimes.
yes,
them.
that's what I mean. He's got nothing.
It's the easiest class to make gear for.
It's great, dude.
Also, I think when I said pantomime, I meant them like doing like the playing action. So
oh yeah,
it would
yeah.
make sense for it to be a bard.
Yeah.
Not actually miming.
Also, if they made the miming like they did with like perform, like buttons to press to get the hands in the correct position.
Top left,
yeah.
top
Yes.
Breakdancing to 14.
Make it fucking happen. Mime class, we need it. The mime. It's time. It's the rise of the mime.
It's time for mime.
It's time for mime. So
yeah, it's bard because it makes sense for a bard to play music.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm really happy with their answer. It's basically like, no, we're not gonna force it.
Yeah.
Which makes perfect sense. You shouldn't force
also,
it.
But
they didn't.
the Dark Knight play
and
drums.
my biggest fear is, that he would say, "Oh, it looks like everyone wants to perform. Okay, we'll give it to every
Just
class.
unlock it. Yeah.
Thankfully, he didn't say that, so that's good.
Which
It's
I mean,
hard to
it's-
unlock anyway. So
Yeah.
It's level 30 archer. It's
Yeah,
really not a big
yeah.
deal. Yeah.
in a couple hours.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. A quality of life change I often see requested is the ability to repair all and not just repair all equipped. One button that would repair everything you have. Is this something that is possible, or are there limitations? Yes, we need this because it's so
If
annoying.
He says there's limitations. I won't be very impressed.
Yeah, I mean, you can. Yeah, okay. So his answer is, technically speaking, it is possible. Of course, it wouldn't be instant. We would probably have a command put in and windows pop up with a progress bar saying we are repairing all your items. If that's
okay
what
with
people
that.
are envisioning,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
technically possible. So it's technically possible. So the interviewer says it's technically possible, but it doesn't seem like it's actively being worked on. So get on the official forums and make sure the team sees that you want it.
I mean, sure. I mean, that would be a nice quality of life feature, but
It would be an amazing quality of life feature.
Yeah, I still kind of want the feature that allows you to repair other people's gear too, like you did in
Yes,
1.0.
please. Yeah.
Speaking of 1.0,
Yeah, that's one of the,
sure, make it happen.
Yeah.
One day, if you go to the forums, shout. We've seen some classic Final Fantasy 9 gear sets slowly added over time
9?
to 11.
11?
Sorry, 11.
yeah.
Slowly added over time to Final Fantasy 14. Is this a trend that will continue? And if so, are there any in particular that you or the team would like to have added? I feel like they've added like most of the like iconic gear now because we're getting the optician. What's it called? What's the hat? The hat is called. I want to say. I almost say optician, but it's not optician. It's called
eye doctor.
optical hat. Yeah.
Unless they add like relic sets,
Oh,
the Empyrean sets and stuff. That would be the only stuff that's really super memorable.
yeah. They can't
I'm
really
sorry,
add.
just give me 1 second. I got someone at the door.
Okay.
It's really important.
Okay.
Just 1 second. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Okay. If they can't really add weapons because the weapons in 11 are so lackluster compared to
they're not.
14.
Right.
Wow.
I mean, the armor could be doable.
For sure. I love the 11.
But even then, like a lot of the armor already is like it's not directly in, but it's like if you look at like even like stuff like Red Mage, it's like well, how are you gonna put 11's Red Mage armor in there? It's basically already in the game.
Yeah.
Same with Black Mage, right? Like Black Mage is kind of along the same. Basically, you just
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
true to admit that 11's a little bit bland.
It's not.
looking.
It's just.
sure.
It's compared to 14 at least, but it's.
Well, I think 11's problem isn't that it's bland necessarily. It's that so like when you have a game like Final Fantasy 4
Yeah.
or 5, right?
Mhm.
Sure, the equipment does actually all look pretty bland, you
Yeah.
know, but there isn't like an unlimited amount of equipment to choose from. You have
Yeah.
like your 20 sets, and you're like, okay, the best set
Sorry
is the
about that.
diamond armor. Then you
Yeah.
get attached to the diamond armor through that, right?
Yeah.
Whereas 11, there's like everything may look kind of bland, but there's so much of it, you don't really get attached to any one specific
Right.
piece of gear. if that
Yeah.
makes
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
super iconic.
Mhm.
No,
The stuff
yeah.
that we get
Yeah.
attached to is stuff like the Strider boots, which provided a fucking super useful buff in game, which is
Yeah.
why nostalgia is around those items, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And also with the optical hat as well, which was a really big deal in 11. They bring back the hits from 11. So let's see what his answer is. And of course, he says, we will be having an update to the Forbidden Land of Eureka content in the Pagos installment.
What?
And we'll be featuring 11 as well there. That's the optical hat. So there will be some gear added in that installment as well. As far as the second part of the question, if they were to specifically comment on what it is, it would take away from the fun of the players that like the content. So Yoshida would encourage players to try out the content, play it, and find out for themselves.
I guess that's fair enough. They'll just be drops from NMs again,
Mhm.
and we won't know what they are until we get them. Whatever.
That's what I'm thinking.
Remember
It
that
was
he
quite
said that he was going to
exciting.
change things up, though? Remember? He had this whole thing in the previous interview that it's not going to be this... Well, that was talking about the relic.
I think he was, and he was talking more about spawning NMs, I believe, not the actual NMs.
Yeah.
And also like how the relics are powered up rather than where the 40
Right.
the 11 gets in the drop.
Yeah.
That's very specific.
So next has a pretty long note, because it seems like the question was kind of misunderstood. So my next question was the following: have the developers considered a feature that would allow players to put buy orders on the market board instead of just sell orders? For example, I could request 500 pieces of lumber at 200 gil each. However, I think this question was a bit misunderstood, and the answer didn't address whether or not that feature specifically for the market board would be possible. Because of the limited amount of time to complete the interview and that I wanted to get through as many questions as possible, I didn't follow up. His original response to the question was lengthy, and I didn't want to take up any more time on this question and potentially still not get an answer. As you can imagine, going through an interpreter adds a lot of extra time to each question. That said, if you're curious as to what he did say, he spoke in great detail about a scrapped role-playing feature that is now back on the table and planned for 4.4, albeit in a different form using the recently added guestbook feature. This feature is one where people could roleplay as simulated buyer-seller crafting relationship, where one person puts in a request for items through the guestbook, such as potions or food, and the crafter can complete the delivery. Neat for roleplayers if that happens.
That already exists then? Because isn't what he talking about you just going saying like, hello, I need potion, and then
No,
just mail you a potion?
I think you do,
more
hello, I need potion,
formalized.
request, and then he's like, okay, I'll make this, and then you'll send it, right?
But then didn't he answer the question?
No,
basically?
that's what he said.
No,
He misunderstood.
But how? But then he basically did answer his question because he's saying yes, we have a plan to put buy orders in.
But only in a stupid way.
In a weird way. Yeah, it's
Well,
not for the
who
market
cares?
board. It's not for the
That's
market
fine.
board. It's for you have to go to a guest book for a crafter, right? So you have to know that there's a crafter nearby that can do that, and then request it through the guest book, which is a much more tedious process than going to the market board and requesting the entire server.
Yeah, I think buy orders are going to be are stupid anyways.
Buy orders. It's a
Buyers
good
are
idea.
very
Really dumb. Because
staple
you want to know what a
most
buy
of
order
those.
is? A buy order, you're just going to go in, look at the market board, go, what's cheaper than that? I'm going to buy order for 10,000 gil less.
Yeah, and you may not.
And you may not get
for it, or
anything at
someone
that
might
point.
just go,
Yeah, I know. It's just dumb.
Or
Just
they
fucking
could
buy it.
no. Or you can add an open buy order, like I want this crafted, give me a price, and the seller can be like, this is the
No.
price.
That
It could
works
be
with like
used-
3 items in the game that are actually rare.
Yeah,
That aren't. There isn't going to be a million up there. It doesn't really work. There's no need for that in this game. You don't get crazy raid drop items to craft with, or anything. It's just like nothing there. You're gonna do it for like the brand new minions that come from airship and submarine stuff.
Mhm.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Like it's
There's
everything
no
else is too
need
common.
for it. There is no need for it. I know.
I mean, it could be used for some stuff too. Like
But I can
things
see
that are like not crafted more often, like chromite plates or whatever. Not chromite. The old glamour sets from Heavensward. Like sometimes you don't see on the market board, so you can be like, oh, I'd like somebody to make this for me and put however
Yeah.
much you're willing.
But again, it's not going to notify anybody to craft the item.
No, I would assume that it would have like its
Like, it's
own
not gonna-
tab, like buy orders, so you can open and there's like a list of active orders.
Well, that's a.
They've talked
maybe,
about
I
this
guess.
before, and then you click, and then did they talk about this in a live letter Q&A or something, or have we talked about this before? I think at some point we did, because I have this memory of someone talking about this. So you would have this list, and then you would pick the one you want, and if you picked it, it would be marked on you, so it will disappear from the list or be like marked as in progress, and then you would craft it, and if you didn't craft it, you would get like a penalty or something. this is probably something we've probably been like theory crafting this in some episode, because I have this in the back of my mind somewhere, because this has been brought up before. This is not the first time we've talked about this. Why are you saying what?
buy orders do in most games is they find that happy medium of where people are willing to pay for and sell an item.
Yeah.
Which means what you're no longer going to get is someone putting something up that most people are selling for 16 million for like 10 gil.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen because people have put buy orders for like 14 million.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be that, like, they'll close the gap and we'll find where people are willing to pay for an item, and the price will stabilize
Does that
around
really
that.
make a difference? Because if somebody's going to pay 40 million on an item, like, the person selling it, nothing changes for them.
Right, but sometimes markets can crash very fast if
Yeah.
people are suddenly putting up loads of items for 100 gil just to force.
Right, but why does that change? Because then the guy's still willing to sell it for 100 gil, and nothing has changed there.
So they would have to like add some sort of.
It just seems like a total
What
waste
if there's no sales tax if you buy it through an order? Like, you don't have to pay that extra fee, for instance, if you complete an order, or
But then we've just made up a system, and now we're trying to have to entice people.
I mean,
to
the system
use it.
doesn't
That doesn't
exist.
make any
I don't
sense.
know. They would
I know,
have
I'm
to
just saying,
figure it
I'm
out.
saying it doesn't need to exist. It seems completely pointless. To me.
But I mean, people
I
sell
suppose
stuff
the
on the
game
Party
doesn't have-
Finder.
The
Yeah,
game doesn't
it's
have
a
the
great idea.
strongest economy, so I
Then
guess
wouldn't it be greater if you had like an actual? Because most people don't check the Party Finder to buy stuff. People check the market board, so it would make sense to have a tab where that is a thing.
So people
Yeah.
sell people sell on the Party Finder, usually just sell in bulk and to just undercut, like, at a larger rate.
Mhm.
You know, buy orders is just gonna undercut. It's gonna undercut the same. It means more people are gonna undercut faster.
Yeah, but you can request like a bulk order if you need like a lot of lumber.
yeah.
It'll probably be cheaper to get something for a fixed price, because usually if you have to buy several stacks of 99 stacks, the price is going to go up quite a bit, because now you're starting to like eat up the higher.
A big fix
cost.
then. Go find anybody who can make anything.
Yeah, but then you have to do that. It's easier to have that on the market board.
I don't know.
It's what-
It's an MMO. You can talk to
It's a
people.
quality
it's not that weird.
it's a quality of life feature, is what I'm saying.
It is an MMO, but
for,
it's
for
also
buyers,
buy
for
orders
buyers,
are-
not for sellers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And well, no, because
It's quality of life for buyers, not sellers.
Well, it depends. They would have to add an incentive for the sellers, is what I'm saying. We're talking about a system that
That
hasn't
was
been
also a
made.
misinterpreted question.
Yeah,
it wasn't even.
why
like,
are we?
wasn't
I
even
love
an
how we
actual
just keep
question.
talking about it as well. Yeah, whatever. Even if they added that, I would never use it, because I can't even imagine why I would need to buy. Like, I would need an order so big, I would need a special order for someone to make it for me, so I
Mhm.
don't get like broke.
Yeah, especially if you need if you're gonna need like 600 of an item, well, at that point you might as well craft it yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Lots of players have a close wait. Okay, I thought this was a question about fucking Ishgard housing again.
Yeah.
Lots of players have a close attachment to Ishgard after Heavensward and are starting to miss it. Mile of Anadar, case in point.
Yeah.
Are there any plans to possibly add content that lets us spend time with some of popular
Yes.
Ishgard characters like Estinian and check in on how Ishgard is doing since the end of the Dragon Song War?
Yeah. How's the new government going?
Yeah. How interesting. How's the government of Ishgard doing? The development team and Yoshida, of course, understands how Ishgard was popular to players, and I'm afraid we're not able to delve too much into detail. With the Warrior, obviously, because it would be spoilers. With the Warrior of Light continuing in their adventure, they will be involved in yet another large fight. What? Eventually, we might see some of the familiar characters, and there might be instances where they shine in the adventures.
I know exactly. I know what he's saying. He's saying like people like Emmerich are gonna come back in the story, so they can't do it yet.
Such
I
a
think that's what
Yoshi-
he's trying to say.
Such a Yoshi-P answer. You will shine in the... It's like, why? Okay. Will shine in the adventures. Sure, I think... So, and then the last one, also very Yoshi-P. So we hope the players continue to look out for opportunities like that. For an opportunity
Do you mean
for them
the
to
MSQ?
shine in their
You
adventures.
mean the MSQ? What
Yeah,
does that
look out for that
mean?
opportunity.
Yeah.
So no is the answer, I think.
I mean, it's open. I
Well,
mean, we'll see Dinian again, because he's like lurking in the
Yeah.
background all the time. So
I interpreted that as like there's characters that are gonna come back, so
Yeah.
like going to back
yeah,
would mess up the timeline as to where they're gonna be in the future.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because like if we were still talking about Ishgard and stuff in and the original city states during Stormblood, like people were there, people showed up in Alamigo
yeah,
and all that, right?
Yeah,
so they're
yeah.
still in, as much as they didn't say anything, but I mean they're still involved. So
yeah.
it would make things very complicated, wouldn't it?
Would
It
it?
could do.
I mean,
Unless you're doing like really sort of, it's in Ishgard, but it's like just side quest stories about what's going on in Ishgard.
yeah,
Like a Scholastic Part 2 type thing.
yeah,
Could be.
yeah.
I mean, they can make appearances.
They can. I mean, they exist
Mm-hmm.
still in the world. if you know, it's.
They really don't use they don't really use main characters in side quests very often though, huh?
No,
Like
Not often, no.
they don't.
which is kind of strange, but
And they also, it feels like they're just sort of abandoning the old city states once we're done with their.
Oh,
I think his
yeah.
answer's just saying we're going to go in yet another large fight, so we're now going to abandon Alamigo and
Yeah.
Offard as well.
I'm still sad that they've basically abandoned the original city states too. 'Cause
Yeah, me too.
remember when they asked that question and the dude got all weird and it was like, yeah, well, sure, of course, we'd love that. Okay. I mean, at some point, I mean, okay, there's this weird like we have to move on thing with the development cycle right now. Like we
Yeah.
done with that, moving on. Let's leave this behind. I hope at
Never
some
touch it
point.
again.
I hope at some point they're like, we have a lot of assets. Like,
well, it's
back
also
there.
really strange because didn't they say like not long ago that they wanted to focus on content that lasted
yeah,
longer?
yeah,
Yeah,
So-
what they mean by that is heaven on high.
yeah. It's weird because they kind of contradict. I don't think they're quite sure. Maybe they're not sure because sometimes they say
Maybe.
like this is a theme park MMO and we don't want you to play this for too long, and other times they're like we want to make long-term content that lasts a
Mhm.
long time.
Yeah.
Like you have to pick one. You have to pick one.
Right.
You can still be a theme park MMO and have long-term content that lasts a long time.
Yeah, and then, but also then there's sometimes like we're a theme park MMO, but we're also gonna do never before seen content,
Yeah.
which is like also
Yeah.
two different things.
Yeah.
It's like
Anyways, moving on, I guess. One of the best parts of Final Fantasy XIV was the ability to listen to your music. Oh, wherever you wanted to. Any chance we could have an orchestrion Walkman? This question's been asked before.
please.
Our sound director and how he approaches composing music for Final Fantasy XIV is what we is that we make sure that the music matches the gameplay. Wait, what? The music matches to the gameplay experience of whatever content our player is currently tackling. And so, the music that is composed, we feel, is the best and most optimized for whatever situation our players are in. Final Fantasy XIV's take on the position of having music available whenever and wherever is not optimal for our format. And technically speaking too, because it is an MMORPG, having a whole library of songs available at your control is more difficult to implement than a standalone title that doesn't require you to be constantly online, constantly transmitting data. So if this were maybe a standalone game perhaps, but yeah.
The last answer makes the most sense. I was gonna say though, like really, they could just not allow you to play music the first time until you've beaten a fight or something, which would be. But I get it. That makes.
I get it too because it's like a lot of care has gone into the composing the music for the certain area. So, and if you don't want to listen to the track that plays in that area, then turn off the background music and play your own. Play it on YouTube on repeat if you want.
Yeah, buy the album and
Yeah.
just play it or something.
Yeah.
It would be
I
nice
do-
if you had an in-game option for it. Like if you went to the locks, you didn't want to hear that really heavy like end-game theme.
Dude,
every
it's so
time.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great, but it's like this is a final area song. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that sounds great. Just I have one request though still, and I've wanted it, and then we're getting closer. We're getting closer,
Uh-huh.
and that's the ability to have whatever song's playing inside your house play outside your house.
Oh, like from the
We're
orchestra.
closer. We're closer than ever because now we don't have to listen to.
Oh yeah.
Oh, like
I haven't heard that.
Oh,
You're disabled, right?
I disabled that immediately, dude.
Okay, because that's an option, guys. Don't
Yeah.
remember.
But then Kugana is gonna get drilled into my head, and it's like, just let me shuffle the songs. Let me shuffle the songs.
I'd rather that at least.
Yeah.
Just give me like 10. It's better. It's way better.
Way better. And the housing theme is like
10.
The housing theme has this the do-do-do-do-do-do. It's like so it like drills into your head after a while.
It's like the Gold Saucer.
Yeah, it is.
It's like the Gold Saucer. It's one of those songs that just bores into your head.
Yeah. So anyways, don't clip any of this. Okay, I'm a summoner, so I'm going to ask 2 quick selfish summoner questions. The first is, of course, the mandatory question I have to ask. Is there any update?
We did it.
Is there any update on Eggy Glamours for Shiva, Ifrit, etc.?
We did it.
Will be added anytime soon, or is it being considered at least?
Mock Station only, that is. Buy the fancy Shiva.
Single character.
$15.
Single character only because we're running out of keys. The development team does acknowledge that it is about time to do our next thing, but we're not going to reveal what that next thing is going to be just yet.
Does that mean a summoner thing? You specifically talking we need to do a summoner thing?
No, just
Yeah,
our next thing.
Oh.
He's just talking about something else.
It's just like
Just a whole other project, just a different game.
Yeah.
Well, that has to be. What else could he be talking about other than Eggy Glamours?
They should
It
tie
is.
to, like,
I would
the
assume
mice
there's
quality statues or something. I think would be good.
What 8 gammas would you guys like?
I
by the
will
way?
fucking murder you, dude. I will kill you.
What?
What?
I think there will be Shiva. No, there'll be Ifrit, Garuda, and Titan first, probably. I reckon
Yeah.
there'll be those 3.
Yeah,
But
that'd
like
be
one
great.
is like Sephiroth and
What?
cool ones like him.
I'd want like little Ravana.
Yeah,
one
little
for
Ravana would be
Ifrit.
cool.
That'd be pretty cool. I want it to be like little twin blade thing for.
Well, do you guys think that they would start with like Ramu?
I think they'll do the
Shiva.
Realm Reborn ones.
Yeah.
It could just be like.
Or
popular
they're
ones, I
just
think,
gonna
go
skip
for.
it and go for like some Stormblood, since that's
No.
what we're at.
Well, I
No.
assume Belias makes sense, which is just a purple Ifrit Eggy. That's all that is.
Uh-huh.
Ramu Eggies are already in the game. Sephiroth Eggies are already in the game.
Uh-huh.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Those are the three. Those are the three
Those are the
obvious
three that-
ones that
yeah.
they would add, though.
Yeah.
Was there any in the Stormblood quest line that were new?
Oh yeah, there's also the dark, like the void.
That's the Belias.
they use
That's-
the same
yeah.
one in Belias because they use them in the Chrysalis. No wait, not the Chrysalis. Where?
No, it's in the raid. It's in raid. It's in.
Is it only used in Belias? I feel like I've seen them before.
it's in the summoner quest line first.
Oh,
as
that's where I
Belias.
have it from.
Yeah, they reused it in that fight.
Okay, that's where I have
It was
from.
already in the game before
Right,
then.
I
It's in
get
the
it.
summoner quest line.
Okay.
You fight like somebody trying to summon Belias.
Yeah, I remember now. Okay, so we'll see. Final summoner question is about the direction of the summoner job in general. I know it's too far away to talk in any certainty about major job changes for any potential future expansions, right? However, I really enjoyed what Stormblood did with Summoner as far as Demi Bahamut. From a design perspective, building up combos to unleash Bahamut is very fun and is more in line with the traditional view of summoners from my perspective, older Final Fantasy games. Temporarily bringing in a powerful summon to do a lot of damage and then it leaves. Is this something that you also enjoyed and would want to see it continued in the future? Yoshida says, I'm afraid we're not really able to say anything at the moment. Surprise. We're not able to specifically pinpoint on how the different jobs are going to be handled moving forward. All we can say is that we're revealing information as they become available. But it is understood that a lot of players who utilize the summoner did enjoy that Demi Bahamut summon, and so the development team will take that to heart and investigate. What else can we do to be an enjoyable experience for? Is this
I don't know,
oddly?
dude.
Am I having a stroke? What else can we do to be an enjoyable experience for our players? That's the sentence.
That doesn't make any sense.
Right. Although
there's also no question mark at the end, so it
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense at all.
it's like this whole like answer is weird. It's broken.
So he's like, oh, the interpreter made things really hard. I
Yeah.
don't know if I think you might have made things hard, dude.
Although if we were to consider some kind of summon, we have to be mindful of the size. And then he laughs.
I mean, when it comes to like making jobs satisfying, in the past, what it seems so far is just make abilities that are like hard hitting or like fun, use them
Yeah.
more frequently.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, pretty much.
like with Fell Cleave, like what was the big thing in Stormblood? You get to use it more.
Yeah.
And they direct crit.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Well,
I
I
think
think-
thing like that.
I think to a degree. Yeah, for sure. I think also just even having attacks that, even if they don't do anything, just give off the vibe of your like of the old school stuff. I know it's weird that people care about it, but they do, obviously.
Yeah.
Because really, like, is Demi Bahamut that much different than like a Death Flare? It's pretty much the same concept, actually.
Yeah.
Pretty close. It's just a thing that comes out for a while, does extra damage, and then you blow off a big load at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We
So
Yeah.
just add cool old Final Fantasy stuff. I think that's all you gotta do, right?
Yeah.
Let
Give
us
Lightning
summon
Challenge
Knights
to-
of the Round ourselves. We'll do
Yeah,
it.
Holy 2, Knights of the Round, give Quad Flare to Black Mage.
Meteor. I want.
Meteor.
I want,
Yes, Meteor.
I want Meteor
Sweet.
on call. I don't want it to be a limit break. I want it when I want to do it in
Okay.
my rotation.
We need to move on. Ed McClone from Twinfinite. Suddenly, there's this other dude in here. At the beginning of Stormblood, you let everyone know that the number of dungeons added in each patch would be altered. As a player, I have felt quite satisfied with the quality of the dungeons and do not feel Expert Roulette has been negatively impacted. Can you discuss in some detail how this change has benefited the development team? Are there any specific content additions that would have been delayed or difficult to add had that change not been made?
What delays? We've never had any delays before.
Never. Hasn't there been delays with any Stormblood stuff at all? Actually,
Not technically.
no. Okay.
Not technically, but there's been most of the patches. It's like here's 4.3. Here's two
Oh,
things.
I forgot I misunderstood the question. Yeah, okay. So it's because they shortened the amount of dungeons with Stormblood, and he's asking if any other additions would have been delayed or difficult to add if they had continued the cycle with 3 dungeons.
Which is a dumb question because shit has been delayed for Stormblood.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's what I know. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. So Yoshida says, yeah, definitely. With being able to allocate development resources, with the shift in our pattern for releasing dungeon content, where we have our even number of patches to have 2 dungeons and our odd patches to just have 1, we did alleviate the amount of work. We did alleviate amount of work by not having to make that extra dungeon. So, and then it says, the Forbidden Land of Eureka content is something that we were able to work on, concentrate, and put in more effort.
Jesus. Well, every single time that gets me, man.
Snorfs.
That was delayed. Oh, weird.
Perfect. I love the wait for that. That was good. If we were making 2 dungeons as we were previously doing, I don't think 2 dungeons. You used to make 3 dungeons, dude. If we were,
I know they forgot about that already. I think I don't think they even remember they made 3 dungeons at one point.
if we were making 3 dungeons as we were previously doing, I don't think we would have been able to achieve such a large scale content. So Eureka is apparently a direct result of that. Yet it was delayed.
Yet it was delayed anyways, which is what the Russian said. So,
Same goes with the Ultimate Battle series as well, which you've already said
which
has.
is discontinued. What is this question?
Boof.
Brilliant.
Boof.
Thank you.
You said it.
Yeah, same. So he's already said that Ultimate has nothing to do with the rest of the development cycle. Like, they're independent of everything else. Or Heaven on High. That's going to be released very soon as well.
I mean, yeah.
All he's saying is that the fact that they've had 1 less dungeon to make every 2 patches meant that Eureka was only delayed by 2 patches.
Yeah.
Instead
Right? Is that what that
of like
means?
5 or what?
I don't know. I mean, looking at it now, though, if we look at it like today, the next Eureka is already coming out. So that might be an actual result of this. Like, we didn't even think that was possible. Remember when we talked about this?
Eureka meant to be
No, this
out
Eureka was
earlier?
This Eureka was already... No, we don't... What? No, this one has not been delayed. This one's following the schedule, right? And it's even like
You
one
sure?
patch after.
It's the
came a
first
lot-
Pagos has not been delayed. What are you on about?
Yeah, but the fact that Animos was delayed by 2 patches sort of implies that Pagos would have
Oh,
been...
of course, then
well.
everything is going to be delayed. Like,
Yeah, the
otherwise they
whole
would have to
thing
release
is delayed.
Pagos on the 3 next tomorrow and to catch up. That's not going to...
That'd be fine
No,
by
of
me.
course.
And
Oh
Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh.
Animos was delayed. Okay, that's okay.
Yeah, but
It was delayed. That doesn't mean the next ones are delayed because they never got a release date. Now they
That's
are
okay.
on time. You can't say that like, oh, it was delayed once, so everything following it is delayed. That's dumb. That's dumb. Is this code? Yeah. Is
You're
this
dumb.
like a trigger for like? Are we triggering some sort of sleeping cells or whatever? What's happening?
Are we being keyworded or something? do these words mean anything to anybody, by the way?
Okay,
That's
so
my question.
there's a last portion of the answer. We were able to allocate those development resources to bring more new gaming experiences and looking out. I don't know what's happening to me today. I'm fucked. New gaming experiences and looking out how many players are actively. Is this oddly word? Is this?
It is oddly worded.
It's
Yeah, don't worry.
cumbersome.
And looking
You're
out
not
how
just-
many players are actively participating in those activities is definitely a good sign for us that not only was it beneficial for our development team, but it has reflecting really well into the game as well.
It has reflecting really well. Thank you,
Mhm.
Yoshi-P.
Very good.
Did
I,
you
think
hear that?
it's
Yeah.
Yoshi-P. I actually don't think that's Yoshi-P's fault at all.
No,
It has-
this is
it
the
has
journalist.
been- it
that's
has
the
reflected pretty well.
journalist.
Yeah,
It's probably the translator messing up and the journalist.
yeah,
not
and
just
probably the
fixing it.
journalist being really
Just
but
writing it verbatim.
you would
Yeah.
don't people proofread anymore?
No.
I mean, hey, maybe
That's
this dude was
overrated, dude.
busy after E3. Like,
Yeah.
busy doing his fucking job, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like-
Hey, Jason Schreier, I'm sure you had a lot of interviews that day. So, like,
yeah,
Yeah,
Uh,
but they have editors for publications.
yeah.
Whatever.
editor
Whatever.
fucked up. Editor Kotaku, you gotta.
This isn't
Sorry.
this isn't Kotaku.
Oh,
This is Twinfinite. We're
sorry.
still on Twinfinite, which means we are running out of time.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh my god. Although I'm not ready to take them on, the ultimate battles have been incredibly well received by the hardcore raiding community. From what I have seen, what can we expect going forward? Should we anticipate a hypothetical 5.0's ultimate to come from Heavensward content, such as Knights of the Round? Knights of the Round.
I'd actually never thought about. a Knights of the Round Ultimate. That's pretty cool.
Mm,
Yeah, I've
That
always
would
just
be
been the Steps of
intense.
Faith Ultimate.
Yeah,
yeah.
I never thought about Knights of the Round
Steps of
Ultimate.
Faith
Cool.
Ultimate. That would be.
I've never thought of Steps of Faith Ultimate either. Are you talking about Final Steps of Faith?
No.
No.
I
Get Steps
regular.
of Faith in there.
I-
Yeah.
Regular Steps of Faith?
What if it starts
Why?
with Steps of Faith and then it ends at the final
Oh,
Steps
God,
of
that
Faith?
would be
That'd be pretty
amazing.
sick.
Hey.
That would be
Really
really
cool,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah.
But it's like so many birthers everywhere.
You have to do the
That'd be
births.
almost- That'd be so awful, dude.
Don't do your
You have to
attention, just-
you have to woke the birthers.
Yeah.
your birth rotation. You have 7 skills. Learn them right now.
Yeah. So with the Ultimate series, we have not set any limitations or boundaries, actually. Just like the players are sort of speculating or imagining what kind of battle content is coming up next, the development team is also thinking about what kind of monsters could we bring out? How can we express their ultimate strength? How do we pose a great challenge to our players? So with the existing content that we have gone from Bahamut to Ultima, So people might get the impress that we have been drawing from the Realm Reborn. So logically speaking, the next would probably be from Heavensward. But again, we're not setting any sort of limitation on what sort of content we will bring. It also falls upon the members creating that raid content, and we're waiting on them to bring us the idea of what kind of ultimate encounter that we're going to bring. So we actually don't have a clear plan on it just yet.
Limitless Blue Ultimate.
Yeah,
2 whales.
Oh my god,
make it happen.
that would be horrible.
Mhm.
Yeah, and more Vanu Vanus that you have to kill as well, and then they'll yeah, do that. Okay, cool. Nothing really. I mean, we don't know anything about the next Ultimate battles, so
Yeah.
whatever.
Maybe there'll be another one in 4.x. Who knows?
Well, they did say no.
They
They-
just
Well,
said
they,
there
no,
wasn't.
they
We
were
covered
said
it
they
last
were open
week.
to it.
Yeah,
No.
there's no.
They said
But
this pat.
They said they were open to it though.
Well,
to
they
doing
said
another
they- yeah,
one.
they
Well,
did
if it's
say
not
that.
in development, I'm pretty sure it's not going to come out before.
It depends on the
There's-
patch cycle, but
there's
they.
still a lot of time
You're
to
right,
make it
Rollo. They
ultimate.
did say that they were listening to the people, so. But I doubt we'll get it
We
anyway.
have a patch and a half, technically, unless they've officially announced more.
It's a very long time.
Yeah. So there were players that were at first upset with how Eureka turned out in terms of the slower pace of play, but one addition that has been well received has been the challenge logs. Are there plans to add other features from outside Eureka, such as maps or daily hunts, to speed up leveling and also provide more variety?
Good idea, actually.
That is a good and something we talked about a lot here. Yoshida says, so what's interesting with the Forbidden Land of Eureka is that unlike other content in Final Fantasy XIV, this is intentionally made so that you are putting in the time. It's something that players should be taking their time in and experience the content. Additionally, it's not a content that all of the players are going to take on. It's something that really requires player skill. So if we do
Really requires player skill.
incorporate elements that speed up a player's level, it might kind of defeat the purpose. Those that want to take the time might feel like things are by too quickly, so it's not satisfying. But that being said, of course, we are monitoring the situation and will be making certain adjustments when they are needed and as necessary to make sure that causing players a great deal of stress. We don't want players to get too frustrated. I have no idea if I'm reading
Players,
English at all. anymore.
You're not, by the way. I was going to say, first of all, experiencing Eureka means standing still.
Yeah.
And player skill? What?
Dad said it has player skill required, yeah, so you can't refute him.
What?
Depends on why. It depends on how you like. I mean,
Time
what
management
is
Go on.
what is
Time management skills.
I don't know what I'm asking.
Go on.
How do you define skill?
I guess there you go.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, cool, sweet. I can't remember the question anymore.
Thank
My
you.
one thing for that is I would love a way to get Pazuzu feathers retroactively once Pegos comes out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that's almost
yeah.
going to be doing that.
I
shit,
agree with
boy.
that. When we have to
So
fight
we need-
Isuzu.
Can't fight Pazuzu by yourself. That's
Uh-huh.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Challenge accepted.
Okay. We might have to like cut some questions here because we're 10 minutes left and we haven't even touched the Kotaku one. Under
That's
the-
just about job adjustments. Who cares about that?
we've talked about job adjustments before. Let's see if there's anything new here. There's nothing. It's just the usual. We're looking at it, and
Yeah,
something's
the
happening.
last question's about them being excited for the future patches. They don't really give anything, so nah.
It's probably
Yeah.
horribly spelled anyways, and it's gonna take you.
Yeah. Okay, so we just want to bring up the Kotaku interview because it's kind of absurd. There are some really weird questions in here, and first of all, they start off talking about the housing shortage, which
It's not as much of a problem.
Doesn't really
anymore.
exist. that much
no,
anymore.
that was more or less resolved with the last thing they did. But he basically, okay, so he says, I think we have come really close to resolving the issue where we don't have enough plots of land and people are in desperate need for housing. But if we're looking at it from a perspective of, do we think we have a complete form of this housing system? We don't believe we've gotten there yet. Their solution to the shortage, implemented earlier this year, was to limit players to one personal plot each. Our next goal is to make it more user-friendly so that we're able to automatically switch between characters that are under your own account, Yoshida said.
Ooh.
Does that mean switch your like? What does that mean?
I don't know.
Means you can pay another 26 million.
But and
to have
how
a
does that
different
tie?
character's name.
But how does that tie into housing as well? Like,
Well, if alts are sharing housing, if that's what they're talking about, that doesn't. How's that going to work? Like, how am I going to share my Ragnarok house
Yeah.
with my Cactuar character, or vice versa. They're on different data sets.
Yeah.
It'll probably
Well, people put them on the same servers.
But in that sense, we're just getting instance housing, and then that completely tears apart their thing. Unless it's alts on the same server, which
Probably
is,
alts on the
sure,
same
that's
server.
fine.
Also
I
on
feel
the
like
same
that's not a
server.
huge,
Because that's
I don't
for
think
some
that's a
reason been
huge
requested
thing.
a lot, hasn't it? I've seen that before.
Okay.
So,
If people want it, then sure, whatever.
yeah. And then there's of course, the classic question: will you run for public office? I don't want
Don't
to.
joke with the interpreter like this. I mean, through an interpreter, it doesn't.
Oh
really
yeah, because it's
come off as
awkward because they
well.
have to like, yeah. Oh no.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
That's how I took that answer. I don't want to. I feel like he didn't smile at all when he said it.
Yeah. But
He
then,
probably would say what?
but then there's a question that's it's interesting. On deciding whether to lock Final Fantasy XIV content behind weekly gates. If we have everything available freely accessible, then people will play through everything as quickly as they can and they will run out of things to do, Yoshida said. But at the same time, if we have content that is available to attempt for the first time only on a weekly basis, then you have that desire, but I want to do more. And that's stressful as well. Trying to satisfy both of those desires at the same time is impossible. If the developers were to allow people to grind raids with no weekly limitations, Yoshida said, then the skill level disparity between hardcore and casual players would become ridiculously wide. Those casual players, which we have a lot of, they'd start looking at the top players and think to themselves, there's no way I can get up there, no way I can catch up, and they might give up on the game, he said. That's something we want to avoid. We don't want to have people dropping out or thinking there's no way they can catch up, or else, as an MMO, that make our community fall apart. The limitations we do set on certain content is not necessarily just to extend the life of the content itself. We understand the frustration and stress for different communities and the frequency of which players play these different content. We're trying to share the load of that stress, make sure we're not skewing towards one party.
I mean, weekly limits are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he basically just justified why they were there.
Yeah, he kind of did. Yeah, and it's not like it's in 14 at least. It's not that like rarely have I ever like. There's always that tombstone thing. Like, oh, I'm like 5 stones away from being able to afford that. I'm like, oh fuck this like limit.
Which is all calculated.
Yeah. But I mean, it makes you that. I mean, that's the purpose of the game. Like, if you'd be able to like uncap the tomes, you'd play the game for like hardcore for like a week, and then you'd be done.
You need to tell people
there would be
when to
no
stop.
world. The world first race would be about who can grind out mendacity the fastest.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
that would be the world first race right there.
Yeah.
So
No thanks.
Yeah.
lockouts in here for a reason, and it's good.
I wouldn't mind it if they changed books from being like 4 per accessory to 1 per accessory and stuff. Because
What do you
I
mean?
don't
Oh, you're talking about like the drops from the raids?
Talking about
from
pages?
Savage.
Fuck no.
Like why would if you spend 4 weeks and don't, then you can get 1 drop, but everyone else in your static has got like a drop every week.
Well, that's just drops. At that point, why have it drop items at all? Just
Well,
don't have the
exactly.
fight
Why
drop
bother?
items.
None of the other ones.
What do you mean? Why bother? It's the point of the fight is
Yeah.
to get cool drops.
Yeah.
Yeah, but none of the other ones do. Normal mode doesn't drop items.
It
Well,
does?
yeah, because it's
Doesn't
no, it
the
doesn't.
normal
Well, it
mode-
drops the token
It drops
items.
tokens.
Oh, right.
But that's because like you're shit and nobody cares.
Well,
Yeah.
It's also you can also do it as many times as you want every week. You don't have
No,
to.
you don't.
Yes, you can.
you can only get 1 drop.
You
a
can get
week.
1 drop, but you can do it as many times as you want. If you beat Savage, you're not getting another drop, even if you don't get anything.
Mm.
No.
It's completely different.
No.
It's completely different.
Who cares about
So-
rating? Okay, so on whether new Final Fantasy XIV players might feel overwhelmed by the amount of story. Actually, we feel that the expansion packs serve the purpose of bringing in new players, Yoshida said. Every time we release an expansion, we go into it with the mindset that we want to create content that is worth one whole new RPG title. Of course, there may be recurring characters that you may not be familiar with if you're just jumping in at one of the expansions, but it is a new experience in and on itself. So even if you skip over the previous expansion and jump into the new one, it's still enjoyable. The development team is working really hard with each expansion to make sure we are delivering a full experience to our players, and I think that that contributes to our success of continuously bringing in new players, he said. It would have been nice if we were like 24, the TV series, and had a clean split between the seasons, if each season was 24 hours. Again, Yoshi-P bringing in this TV thing every time.
It's such a weird analogy.
It is a good analogy.
It does make sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think he's more saying like it would be nice if we could have every second documented of the entire thing.
Yeah.
But it's like that's not how the expansions work, I guess is what he's trying to say.
Yeah, yeah.
Like there are gaps in time and
yeah. Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. And so the follow-up question, of course, would be whether Jack Bauer will ever be added to Final Fantasy XIV. Because you ask that question. That's the question you've asked someone.
I get it.
I love his answer.
But the answer is the best part, because there doesn't seem to be any like humor. Like he's just saying, we don't want to mix too much reality into the fantasy world.
Also, he's saying Jack Bauer's real.
Yeah.
That's what I don't understand. That 24 is a fantasy. It never happens.
No,
It's a documentary.
It's a documentary. Oh my god.
It's like, no, Jack Bauer, the human being. Yes. It's like,
dude, what's
the hero
to be in there? Come on.
Oh god.
It's so funny to me. It's real, guys.
Yeah. Okay.
Confirmed 24 real life.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So we need to cut time.
We could skip Blitzball.
Yeah, Blitzball. I don't want. I'm tired of it. I'm just so
That was
tired.
quite an interesting answer.
Okay,
I'm
let's
so
go.
tired of
Okay,
Blitzball.
let's do Blitzball. And whether Final Fantasy X Blitzball is ever coming to 14. I'm afraid we're still torn on this. Personally, I feel that having more of a team creation or simulation type gameplay is very fitting with the MMO style, and something that players can come back many times as well as play for a long time. At the same time, I'm very worried that players will look at it and be like, well, that's not Blitzball. I almost feel like, do I even want to make this? I don't want to make this anymore. Last year, Yoshida had told me that they were still debating whether to add Blitzball to Final Fantasy XIV as a proper sport or as a team management simulator in which you'd go around the world collecting players and making them your own team.
That sounds great.
My teammates,
awesome.
my teammates would let me know, Yoshida, if this is something you feel like you want us to create, of course we'll build it for you, but please make sure it's something you'll find fun, he said. That's why I'm very torn.
Wow, so that means that they haven't even started working on it.
No.
Ever.
They
Like,
sounded
haven't
more confident about it before.
Yeah.
It did sound, agreed, for sure.
Yeah.
And
now
how
it's-
devoted they are
they're
to his
back.
back and forth.
Yeah.
I got to admit, though, I had never really thought about the aspect of because that's a big part of 10's Blitzball is talking to people, right?
Yeah.
Specifically, you don't play any Blitzball, you wait for Waka, you get blah blah.
Yeah.
That sounds like a really cool version of that. Kind of like combining Triple Triad with it in a way. Where like that's cool. That sounds really good.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Gotta
I don't think
do
people
something
actually.
for them to unlock it ahead of time. I would assume, do this quest line for me.
Yeah.
Now I'll be on your team.
I don't think people actually want to play Blitzball, by the way, because it wasn't very fun in 10. So
No, it was actually pretty tedious.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I love this.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
So I think the team management thing would be the more fun, interesting.
Well, you say that, but then Final Fantasy X-2's Blitzball was just team management, and it was awful.
we don't talk about that game.
I know.
Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist.
But that was only team management.
Yeah, it was. And I'll think we'll finish it with this on whether MMO style combat has grown stale, and if Yoshida would ever consider overhauling Final Fantasy XIV's combat.
Action MMO, that's not overdone.
We feel
At
there is
all.
no reason to do a swapping out or change it completely, he said. If players don't like the way the combat system is set up now, there are many other games they can enjoy in the playstyle they prefer. Say, for example, some players prefer more of a non-target sort of gameplay and they feel that 14's combat system feels antiquated or difficult to play with. Those are new players, and it's probably not the majority of players' feedback, and it does not affect the current players who are already enjoying the content. It'd be better to address that by having that kind of play style in a new and separate game that we create that is targeted to a new generation of players, maybe in a Final Fantasy 19 or 20 or something like that.
What an asshole.
Basically, if you don't like the combat, fuck off, find
What
another
a good
game.
answer. What
Yeah.
a fantastic answer. Like, why would we change shit for people who aren't playing our game?
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I also think it's really dumb. Why do people still ask for action MMOs? Like, they're like, hey, guys, regular MMOs are dead. Let's ask for action MMOs. And then, but the thing is regular target MMOs are probably the least common right now.
Yeah.
So they're not
Yeah.
like it's almost flipped.
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Plus, not many actually do action very well.
No.
Right.
Look
yeah,
at the biggest
Terra
MMOs
was-
at the moment. Like,
They
They could be good.
Yeah.
But,
it's a tried and tested system that works. So there you go.
Yeah.
Of course, you could argue about the GCD and all that. That's a whole other bucket of
Also,
shit.
imagine an action MMO with 14's netcode.
Yeah. Oh. Yes. Okay. With that, we've reached the end of the episode. No MogMail this week. I'm sorry, but please do send us MogMail. Oh yeah, should probably mention our website had like a big boo boo a couple of days ago. Which meant that if you tried to send us MogMail, the MogMail thing wouldn't like show you the sent thing, so you could just send the email like a million times. And believe me, I got all your emails. I got all your MogMails like a million times. So just so you know. But that's fixed. So MogMail works again. We don't have time to read MogMail. We're out of time. Maybe, or should we started later? Maybe we can hold. It's only 4. We only have 4 MogMails loaded up for today. We just do them.
Let's pull those 4 then.
Let's just do them.
Let's
and
do
have
them.
A shorter
That's
post
fine.
Okay.
And then we'll do
that's
the
fine.
my level thing.
Oh shit, we have to do that too.
Oh,
Do we
yeah.
do that first? Let's do that
Let's
first.
pull it
Yeah,
out.
do that.
Wait,
That's
where's the Cup of Doom?
It's right there.
Well, we're not calling that the
behind you.
Cup of Doom.
It's,
now,
it's
is
on
it?
the shelf behind you.
Yeah, it's right there.
Everything's
See?
of Doom.
Everything. Yeah, it
Podcast
is.
of Doom.
It's easier to just call them of Doom because it's just sadness in these. Okay,
That's true.
we've already done Totorak now, so
Dude,
We should call it the Wheel of Depression.
we'll.
I feel
there
like
you
it
go.
makes us depressed more than Doom.
You're
you
right.
know?
You're absolutely right.
Okay, Baylor shows wall.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'm hoping.
What's the level 41 dungeon? That's Zaymel, right?
Yeah.
Zamel,
we did,
yeah.
We
we
done
did that.
that.
We did that.
we've
We
done
did
that.
Zamel.
Fucking yeah, Saint Mosians, whatever. I'm
Yeah.
running out of choices now.
I'm gonna go Cutter's Cry.
I'm gonna go the Airy.
I feel like we've done Cutter's Cry, but
I know. I don't know what we haven't done anymore. What we haven't done anymore.
Wanderer's Palace. Oh my god.
Oh, cool.
Oh, original.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
Aw.
Conberry boy.
A Realm Reborn,
Oh.
vanilla Realm Reborn endgame. Yeah.
That top there is
Oh.
gonna kill us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually gonna be maybe difficult.
Yeah, it has kind of like its own. Yeah, that's true.
You know what?
Doing no hurt.
We need to use the stinger noise for the tom berries in that dungeon for sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it's the spot every time. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, let's take a look at the wheel. I guess the Wheel of Doom. Yes, here it is.
Ooh, a new
Ooh.
animation.
Yeah, here we go.
It's bougie.
It's no right side.
It's gear as you go.
No.
Oh, so close.
Oh, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna be bad.
That's gonna be.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go with Black Mage.
That's gonna be a boo boo.
Spicy.
Yeah, it's not gonna be great.
Black Mage rotation. Yay.
No, not even. Level 50 Thermaturge rotation. So you're not gonna have
yeah.
you're not gonna have Blizzard 3, dude.
Oh no.
I'm not gonna have
Blizz 3
Benediction.
for
Oh
you.
no. Oh no.
I
Oh,
don't have
that's,
Circle Scorn. I don't have
Oh,
shit,
wait, no.
dude. I'm
Well,
gonna
at
go
least
Scorn,
we'll get all our roll actions.
yeah.
Yes.
We better use every single one at least once. Or else
Yeah.
there's no point.
Yeah.
Can't wait to
I
drain
get to
them.
look at Stone Skin again. Yeah, because I get Stone Skin on my bar. Oh, love it. Okay, MogMail. MogMail.
August.
The first one's from. Oh my gosh. Lost my document. There we go. First one's from. I hope I have it all loaded up correctly. Otherwise, we're fucked. Pixella from Genova.
Is that a
Hello-
funny lewd name? or
Hello.
something?
I love how it says Seekers. Hello, Seekers. That was what we used to call ourselves before the podcast. Thank you for streaming every Saturday. I have a chance to watch it almost every weekend. I have 2 questions. How many retainers do you have on your main characters? And do you actually make guild by sending them out on gathering or quick ventures? And what's
2, yes.
I have... I have 3. I have 3, and yes.
Sorry, is that extra retainers or just?
I think it's just asking how many you have.
I'll finish the question.
Maybe you only have 1.
Okay, I'll finish this. What's the most expensive item you have ever bought from the market board? And thanks in advance for the reply. Cheers. 3, yes.
4 retainers, and I don't make any money from them almost ever.
The most expensive thing I've ever bought from the market board.
Night Pegasus.
Have you bought one?
I got one gifted. Does that count?
No, you have to buy it from the market board.
Probably just like some sort of crafting tool or gathering tool, most likely.
Yeah, probably crafting or gathering gear.
I only have 2. I'm good with that.
Actually, you know what it might have been? It might have been the chair, the flying chair.
Good. Yeah, I haven't bought.
Might have been the flying chair. That might have been a couple mil. I think. Well, it's cheaper now. It's not too bad now.
Yeah.
But I think it might have been like 5 mil when I bought it.
Dude, I saw the hunting hawk. Just side note, I was like, I want to buy the hunting hawk next. Surely it's gone down in price. No, it's just like still
Why?
2.
Why do you think it go down?
I don't know
Nobody
why.
does it anymore.
Fuck.
I think the most expensive I got was a friend of mine really wanted the red panda. I think is that from Heaven's Sword. Anyway, I spent like 5 mil or something on like Zalera. This was like when it first came out.
Yeah.
Because they saw it drop but didn't get it, so I felt really bad for them. It's like, oh no.
I made like, you know what? Those were good days. I made like 10 mil off those pandas. I had like 5 drops in the first week. It was
what the fuck.
I don't think I've ever bought anything for anything over $1 million on the market board.
Wow, stingy.
No, like crafting or like gathering gear.
Oh yeah, you're right. Crafting, gathering. Well, there you go. That's crafting and gathering gear. That's usually the most expensive shit. Yeah. So let's move on to the second. Thank you, Pixella, for that.
Chat, what's up?
Yeah, you're in chat. I saw you. The next one is from Kanito Vez from Mateus. This question. I was wondering how you pick your actual speakers that take part in the episode. Thanks. Well, we've kind of already answered this in the previous episode, or the 2 episodes ago.
Well, there's 4 of us, and that's
whoever shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we put really a rotating cast.
Yeah. There was no rhyme or reason to the pick. Well, Rollo kind of. We already been through this, how we picked all this. Yas is just here because
I'm just here.
Just one day he was just here, and we were like, okay.
I'm gonna get rid of him.
Yeah.
Still can't figure it out.
No, yeah, we're still working on it. We're
still working on it.
So the third one's from acetylene electronium from Lich. Oh my, long. Hello, speakers of Heidland. Oh. Sorry, I don't mean to stroke.
What? What?
Oh my god, I'd pull out the... Oh no, I can't hear you. Hello, speakers of Heidland. Oh no, wait, hold on. Let me do a replug. With the next zone for Eureka being the... Want me to
read the question?
Okay, we have to read the question before this runs out. With the next zone for Eureka being on the horizon as of the time of writing, I have started thinking about the process of upgrading your relic weapon and the grind that is connected to it. Obtaining your relic weapon in Eureka is a bit different than it was obtaining your relic weapon in the past, and there are people who like the new system while others undoubtedly do not. Going forward, I find it important to think about what can be done to make the grind as rewarding as possible, which goes for both the coming relic weapon steps in Eureka and for the future relic weapons as well. What do you think? How would you construct the relic weapon grind to make it as satisfying as possible without being overly intrusive? Long question.
Wow. I mean, the current one is probably the most rewarding there is because you get like loot boxes which you can get items from which sell for a lot. Whereas the old ones you get nothing.
Yeah.
If I wanted to make it satisfying, I would have like a very lore-heavy quest line that's job-specific.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be cool.
Because then if you're gaining something interesting out of it. But I don't know how else you can make it satisfying as a grind.
Yeah.
For me, again, this is I assume we're answering this question in not the way that would actually make sense for the game, but our personal opinions, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So for me, what I would love is having to beat like, more intense content in order to get like a part or a piece of it, to get that, or like maybe like a stronger step of it. You get an extra 10 item levels if you beat Savage or Ultimate or something, something like that.
I feel like we talked about this before, have we?
I think it might have come up before.
Yeah.
Because I think somebody actually asked that at one point, said, can we do hard content for relics? And Yoshi-P's like, no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we should do that. I don't think that should happen, but I would love that personally. I think that'd be very satisfying for me.
Yeah, I remember this discussion. We've discussed this exact thing before. I don't want to even start because we'll be debating for half an hour about whether or not relics should have Savage requirements in them.
I wouldn't be an argument because I don't think it should.
Okay, Rollo.
Just variety. Just give me some interesting stuff to do. Give me maps to do with my friends in there too, because as such, maps aren't cross-world. Leaves, interesting face, all that stuff. I don't want to slap mobs all day.
Okay. I'm fine with whatever. I don't care. It's a grind. I don't care.
Yeah, I honestly don't really care what relics are.
Yeah.
Relics
okay.
are relics, they're boring.
Last one, Captain Cole. Well, we are waiting for we're waiting for Captain Claw to load up here.
This spinning?
So
are you winning some?
Is your refrigerator running? What's happening?
You have Pete canned? Do you have a can of Pete? You better let him out.
Oh, hey. Here we go, Captain Claw. This one is okay. Hey, Speakers of Idleland and the Eorzeans. I like the screenshot you shared before of the minimum eye level of Totorak. Thank you. How about the section at a website with wallpapers for desktops and smartphones, GIFs, icons, and other fun stuff from Speakers of Idleland? Thank you, and continue the great show. And then, hold on.
Thank you, Captain Claw.
Thank you for that, Captain. That is a weird request, and probably not gonna happen.
I mean, you can make it.
I could, but who?
No, I mean anybody can make it.
Oh yeah, anyone can make that.
Like,
but, it's.
You want to make a desktop wallpaper of whatever, then go for it.
Are there any good vistas in 1.0? By the way, they're worth.
Are there any good vistas? What are you on about, Rollo? There are multiple.
Okay. I was just
I don't think that's what they're talking about, anyways, Rollo.
No, they're talking about us.
They're talking about 1.0. They're talking about us.
Oh, us! I thought they were talking about 1.0. Okay, here, look, I'll post for a screenshot.
Well, no, I don't. No, I don't.
I think Rollo's on a totally different conversation.
Okay, I think. Okay, so just for context, it's the thing that was shared was a screenshot of my character in game in a bit of an artsy situation in Totorak. I think it's more in that style, not of us posing.
I thought it was for 1.0.
As much as I would like.
I'm joking about us.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Honestly. Come on.
Yeah. No, I mean 1.0 too would probably make sense. From the characters that are used in secrets and stuff. Probably. I mean, I don't know what else we would have on there than that. But yeah, that sounds like too much work for very little, for a very small audience, for a very small demographic. I don't think there are a lot of people hunting for Speakers of Hydaelyn wallpapers.
Maybe
but I appreciate the request. I mean, someone wants it, so
if people actually want it, I'm sure we'll find it eventually. But
okay.
Off flex.
Yeah. Okay, with that said, now we have to finish. Thank you guys for tuning in for episode 98 of Speakers of Hydaelyn. You can follow us on Twitter at SpeakersXIV, youtube.com/SpeakersXIV, twitch.tv/Speakers of Hydaelyn, / Discord in chat to join our Discord server. If you're watching this on demand, links in the description. SpeakersXIV.com/MogMail and stay tuned, by the way, because the podcast is the post show is coming up right after this. May you ever walk in the light of the crystal. Bye.
Bye.